torn. I don't know what to do. Do I wood wick or do I just keep to the cotton wicks? So it's going to be a bit of a video as we wander through my mind and my pros and cons to all of these things. So I've been testing wood wicks recently. It's something I just really want to make work. There's not many people doing wood wicks, and there's probably a reason for it because it's quite hard to actually do. There's inconsistencies, there's not many people selling them, and it's just a difficult thing to do. I think cotton wick candles are good, they're reliable, and it's what I've made the most amount of money so far. It's the most amount of success I've had with anything. So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, why ruin what is working for me? And we'll go into that in a minute. I'll explain why I think I want to change. And it's just, these wood wicks are the best ones I've ever had. They're so close to being perfect, but they're just not quite there. I'm kind of thinking, do I just do it and go for it and just sell it and see what happens? Either people are going to love it or they're going to hate it, and I just give them a refund. They work really well. The scent throw from wood wicks is better than any other candle I've ever made. They just burn a bit hotter, therefore release the scent better. They're just a bit wild. In the beginning, they burn a bit too hot and they look like they're just a bit crazy. And then they just settle down. But as they go down, they sometimes settle down a bit too much. And as they get a bit lower, they don't burn quite as hot. But they're just wild. They some days I'll light it and they'll be perfect. Other days I'll light it and it'll just be a little simmer. And it's hot enough to melt and release the scent. It just doesn't look like it's a light. And that's my concern, is are people going to complain about it and say it doesn't look a light? So far, they haven't gone out. They just burn and they do its thing as a candle. But it's just not as consistent as a cotton wick. And that's what's been working for me really well so far, cotton wicks. I've sold the most amount of candles I've ever sold in the last 6 months. I've had the best success I've ever had. I've had the best reviews I've ever had. So do I want to change everything? Now, because I'm impulsive, I'm 90% leaning towards yes. Because no one else is really doing it. No one else is selling wood wick candles on Amazon. And it's taken me over a year to get to this point of almost doing it and trying so many different wood wicks and trying to find so many different things. And these ones have got a little crackle. The other ones I've tried crackle a little bit, but they don't consistently crackle. These ones crackle, I'd say 60% of the time, and it's nice. It's got that nostalgic feeling of a fireplace, and that's what I want to bring to my candles, that storytelling, that memory, that nostalgic feeling. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. And I'll probably ignore you and do what I want. But it'll be interesting to see what people think. I'll show you how the candles are burning at the minute because I've been testing them all week just to see. And honestly, the scent throw is amazing. I'm just concerned they're not going to be as good as I get to the bottom. The other thing is the wood wicks are a bit more money. They are slightly more expensive. Each one's going to be about 40p a wick, whereas the other ones are probably about 5p a wick or something. So, due to my impulsive nature, I bought, how much money did I spend? I've spent about £300 on wood wick candles because I managed to get a few tests right, and I was like, right, that's it. Fuck it, let's go in, we'll do it, we'll make it a thing, and there we are. That's kind of what I do. I get an idea, and if it's working a little bit well, I just buy all the stuff and do the things. That's why I end up with stuff everywhere. I've got 40 amber jars over there for a project I started, and I've stopped because the place I was buying from them aren't going to sell them anymore, so it feels pointless following through on that project because I'm not going to be able to buy them, so I don't want to settle on something and then have to change it later, spend all that time building up reviews and doing that kind of stuff and then change it. So my impulsive nature also leads me to wasting money and just causing a bit of clutter and chaos. So, yeah. It's getting busy downstairs. The pub is filling up with people. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, ooh, got up a bit too quickly, a bit dizzy. And because I can't get any of my smaller tins at the moment, I'm going to focus on just trying to get these big tins going. So I've made 10, 11 of them for now. And I'm this close to getting the packaged and ready. I've got artwork done. I've got the boxes done. I've got tissue paper to wrap them. I've even got candle care cards. I've had to look after your wood wick. Like, I'm this close to doing it. It's just, I'm probably going to do it. And I'll see what people say. That's kind of how I've started everything. Start off maybe with the minimum viable product and then just see what happens, what people think and what people say. So I'll show you the wood wicks and how they're burning, and then we can have a little think. But tell me you're a candle maker without telling me you're a candle maker. Look at all the stuff I'm just testing. It's a nightmare. It's just chaos. And I hate having all this stuff around as well, but I have to test it. So we have that one there, which is working pretty well. You can hear the nice crackle. And then that one there, as it gets a bit lower, it's just I can feel the heat. Or can I? No, that one's pretty weak. So as it gets down to that point, it's just not doing a lot. But if I just swizzle the wax around, it just doesn't take a lot for it to get a bit of a flame. And the other thing is, I've just been like scraping the ash into it, so I don't know if I've ruined the candle just by letting all the debris settle in it. I don't know if that's clogging up the wick or ruining the wax or not. I don't know. So it's an interesting one for me. And then that is an old one I've tried in the amber jars, but that's just a bit too big and a bit too wild for me. It's dancing around too much. And that's like an S wood wick. And they're really cool. It's just, they go a bit crazy after a while. And I don't trust that. That's the thing. And then I've got this one I've just started. So that is, for me, a perfect candle. It's got a lovely little flame that is controlled. It's not going crazy. And then the melt pool is good. It's nice. And that's how they start off. They do start off a bit crazy, but that's how they start off and that's how they look. It's just how they continue as they get down. Right, I've had a think. Fuck it. We're just going to do it. We're going to do the thing. We're going to just go all in with the wood wicks and see what happens. So I've done with everything else so far, and it tends to work out. I can work things out as I go. If people don't like it, I can change. And yeah, I think the little tins have worked really well so far. I think they're all good. I think they're just the variabilities variables in all of it. They change a bit. Even with the cotton wick, sometimes they're not always perfect. I think something like a candle, it's going to be a bit random. So yeah, the wax melter's full. I'm just going to pour a load of candles. I'm just going to go with it and see where we go. I think I'll definitely get good reviews, more so than I do with the cotton wicks, just because people will get a scent throw immediately and they'll go, oh, that's really good. It's only maybe when they get towards the bottom that it peters out a bit. But I'm confident that it's going to work. I've had a look back at those candles and there's a bit more flame going on, and I think they're going to burn down to the bottom. And that's the main thing. And if the scent throw works and they burn down to the bottom, banging. And I think because the tins, they don't get like mad hot. They do just melt a bit down. They do drip a bit. I think it's going to work. I am optimistic. So we're going to do it. We're going to do the thing. I've had a bit of a doubt, a bit of a wobble. I've let the wax melter sit there for about 2 hours. Yeah, let's pour some candles. Well, I need to wick them first, but yeah, crack on. So with the wood wicks, you just need to stick on these little sustainers. And then I'll do what I normally do, and that's just use the gasket silicone to stick them down. And I think the other thing with doing this, I don't need to secure the wick, so that's one less thing to do. What I'm trying to do with this business is really make it as easy as possible and as frictionless as possible. So when I'm doing stuff, it's just simple. So, for instance, what I talked about earlier, I don't want to keep having to do double pours. So I don't want to have to pour my candle wax once and then pour it again. If I can do a one-step pour, which I can with this wax, then that's what I'm going to do. It makes life easy. I'm just going to have to adjust and chop and change as I go. And I think that's what most businesses do. They evolve. Like, you have your same core principles in your message and your sort of mission statement, but things will adapt and change. I think it's just the nature of how it goes. So as scary as it is to move away from my cotton wicks that I did originally, which have done me very well, I feel like this is going to be the next step. It's going to differentiate me from everyone else, and it's going to streamline my process. So everything's going to be a little bit more expensive. The wax is a little bit more than what I've been buying previously. The wicks are a little bit more. So I might just seem to stick 50p on everything. But I think this is going to be like the perfect gift. And I've got printed bags coming from China and my candle tins. So what I really want to do is just evolve this into like a proper gift. So sure, I want people to buy it and I want people to enjoy it, but I also want people to buy it on Amazon as a gift. So it will come in a box, and that will come in a little Hessian bag, and then that'll have a lovely label on it, and it'll be a perfect little gift. So you can buy it and then give it straight away. And I think that is what I want Amazon to be the bulk of. Just something people buy and gift. And then the people that buy on my website, I kind of want them to be my loyal tribe of people. The people that buy it because they're into candles. And obviously people on Amazon will buy candles because they're into candles. But if I can get them from Amazon to my website and become recurring buyers that way, which has happened quite a lot, then that is the plan. So really, next year, I'm just going to double down on what's working. Grow the candles. That's the main goal. Sack off everything else which isn't working, and everything else that takes away bandwidth from the main goal, which is going to be selling candles. As much as I still keep telling myself, like, oh, I'm making Ouija fuses, that's going to be really easy. Or, oh, the wax melt's sort of right, maybe you should go back to doing that. There's so many things my brain is like trying to do to me to take me away from that mission. It's that shiny object syndrome, where what I'm doing is maybe not as exciting as it once was. So my brain's like, yeah, do that thing, do the other thing, but that's what leads me to having just stuff everywhere. And that's the other thing I need to do, have a good old reset. Get rid of the furniture which I'm not using, and just get more tables. That's what I need. I need more places to pour candles, and I need to make it more efficient. So I need just a day, just to dedicate a day to this. Have a good old clear out, because every time I do that, it does genuinely take a day to do, because there's just stuff everywhere, and it takes a while to tidy. And with these bigger tins, I'm planning to sell them for just under £30, so maybe about 28. They pretty much cost me twice as much to make compared to my other candles, so that's going to be about £8 to £10 by the time I'm done. So I'm going to sell them for 28 maybe on Amazon. At least I'll start about that price. And then Amazon fees will probably be about £7, which means I should net £10 minimum by the time I've done a bit of advertising. So it means I'd only need to sell 100 of these to make £1,000 profit, whereas my other ones I need to sell minimum 200 to make £1,000 profit, which is fine. And I think with easier wax and making my process better, I should be able to do 100 of these and 400 of the other ones. And that'd be a nice, easy £3,000 from Amazon. I want to get to that point where it's just self-sustaining, where it's just doing its thing, and then grow the website, grow the Shopify, because that's where I make the best amount of money. That's where I make maybe like 40% like margin instead of 25%, and that's where I can offer the best value, more personalization, more people buying for people. Like, it's where I can make those connections and build up a loyal tribe of people. Now to the pouring. Yeah, so this new wax melter, it's got a bit of a slower pouring spout, and like the other one, the temperature, it's not accurate. It might say a temperature on it, but it means absolutely nothing. So you just need to keep an eye on it. Not sure which ones I'm going to pour. That's the only thing now. We'll do some more coffee. So I'm going to start off with 4 of each of my best-selling ones in the bigger candles. And try and keep it simple. Yeah, this one takes a while. And I often get quite a lot of like leftover wax sometimes, so I just sort of crunch them up and they come out quite well. I'd quite like to get some of those big metal like pouring pitchers, but these are like £2 each, and when they get a bit crap I just bin them, so I know it's a bit wasteful, but I try to keep everything cheap and cheerful. Hello? Okay, thank you. And the other thing with the other wax, because it sets really hard, it's quite hard to clean off the sort of side of a candle. So if I get a bit of a spillage on the sort of rim, it takes a good old bit of elbow grease to get it off, which also slows down like the process. So I've got to pour the wax once, pour it a second time, and then heat gun it, and then clean them, because I'm just quite messy. It does just take a while before I've actually produced anything. And so because this wax is mostly just soy and coconut, it's much easier to clean, much easier to pour. Oh, shit, too much wax. And should streamline the business. That's the plan, that's my intention. Make life frictionless, easy, and fun. Like, I want this to be fun, and I want to enjoy doing it. Where sometimes when I'm doing the pouring, the heat gun, the cleaning, and then the labeling, and then the body. Like, it's a long process. Like, if I can get rid of 2 of those processes, the cleaning and the second pour, then that's got to save time. It's got to be worth it. So it's kind of where I'm heading. And same with like centering the wicks. If I don't need to do that because it's already there with a wood wick, that's a wood wick, then it's got to make sense, hasn't it? It's got to make sense. That's the thing, I'm like using a shelf with this, it's just not practical because I've got to pour stuff and tip it, so I need to have a rearrange with everything. I need just a couple of days to sort this out. Come on, wax. Out you come. Right, 1 melter done. Right, last batch. So far, I haven't made a mess on any of them. I think it's because it's got a bigger opening, so I can actually aim. I think when I'm doing the other ones, I'm in such a rush normally. So, saying that, there was a little dribble. And there we go. That is all the candles poured. That's 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 25 candles there. That's not bad. Bigger candles, so that's £10 each, 20-50 quid there. So yeah, let's see how they turn out. So that's what they look like. If you can see, I have no idea what I'm looking at. But yeah. Happy with them. I'll continue burning them. I've kind of gone for it now, so let's see how these turn out. I'll leave it there for the vlog. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my brain. See you in the next one. Bye.